special pockets.
Oh no.
Special. This is a surprise tool that will help us later.
Oh no.
So anyway, welcome to critiquing our
Yeah,
cosplay
fine.
videos. Today, each of us is going to pick one of our outfits, and the other people are going to share things that we like about it, things that we don't like about it, and things that we think could be done differently, given different constraints. I'm gonna go first, and we're gonna do, obviously, the best cosplay I've ever done. That's not true. Bakugou. Yay, glare! This one!
Please badly Photoshop Bakugou into
Yeah,
the screen.
like Sanic, but it's Bakugou.
Yes.
So here, there are 4 photos in this one.
Okay.
You didn't know me when I made that costume,
I
did you? So you
didn't,
actually
no.
lived with me when I was making that
You
costume.
have more information than I do.
Yeah.
about this
What
company.
makes you think I fucking remember?
But you've won cosplay contests.
This is true.
And also you know my general method for making things.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah!
So that you know who we are.
Hi, I'm Mari of the Soen Sisters. You may not know that. I have no qualifications to be talking about cosplay critiques whatsoever.
I'm Annie. I am also known as Tall Girl Cosplay on Instagram and TikTok and all good jazz. I have won best in show, or not best in show, best in journeyman at San Japan before, as well as best craftsmanship at EkiCon.
As of
As
2000.
of 2024.
If you see this video in the future, they've probably won best in whatever the fuck in the next class up. And subsequently the next class up.
We'll see.
And then the next class
They'll
up.
have made new classes.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. But I have been making my cosplays for about 10 years now, so I do know a little bit about making stuff.
Just a little
Just
bit.
a little bit. Okay, introduce
Draw a
yourself.
mustache.
What? You
Don't
cannot draw a
introduce yourself.
mustache.
I'm Radio. I do cosplay. I've been in her videos.
You also do a lot of photography.
I do photography.
You have don't you have a minor in photography?
Yes,
So
I do.
You know a lot about posing and dynamics.
I do a lot of candid photos.
Which
So 90% of her photos, mine. 90% of her photos, also mine. 90% of my photos don't exist.
And a small chunk of my sister's photos are also theirs.
Yes.
Although a decent chunk of my sister's photos are taken by the boys. Whatever boys she chooses. So, okay. Tell me the things you like about it first, please.
I like the gauntlets. I think they have a really
The
good
bracers?
Yeah, the bracer things.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a really good shape. I like the sort of weathered texture on them as well. It really denotes
Sorry.
being through a battle.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you so much.
I think the belts fit you well. They look like they. I think the shirt could be a little bit more tailored, but also you're probably newer at sewing at that point, so.
This costume was made in 2018, the shirt specifically, so that was probably, if not the peak, then very close to the peak of my abilities, because I have since stopped making stuff.
You're sewing. And then, my only other, critique would be, I don't know what's up with that neck piece. It kind of looks like you dropped it a couple times.
Oh, the neck guard?
Yeah, the neck guard.
Well, I don't know what else you would call that.
It's not as clean as I'd want it to be in comparison to the other pieces.
Okay. Is that the
Yeah,
3D printed neck guard?
No. That's the
That's the old one. Okay.
the one that I think, didn't you spray paint it and then found out that spray paint melts?
No, that's the one that I've actually had since the beginning, and I just kept remaking it and trying to make it better. And it survived just a relentless onslaught of bullshit.
So actually dropped a couple times.
It's durable as fuck.
It's gone through the ringer. Okay, your turn.
I was laughing mostly because I also like the gauntlets, but I do remember you cussing them out so many times. You hated the stupid gauntlets.
Did I?
Yes. Because they kept breaking and chunks kept
yeah.
falling off of them, and you hated the way that they looked, and you kept swearing that you were going to remake them, but every single time you tried remaking them, they didn't turn out right, so you just kept going back to the old pair.
Yeah. I will say, that is, I think, the 4th pair of his bracers that I ever made. Because the very, very first time I ever did Bakugou, it was Best Genus Bakugou, and I swore that that was the most that I was ever going to do of him. And so there was not a lot of effort put into it. And the very first arm bracers, or whatever, guards, whatever, that I made for him were just, they were just socks with, like, the, like, lines drawn on them. There was no texture, there was no nothing. And then the second pair that I ever made, was made out of soda cans. So they were metal, but they were soda cans with, I think, like, tape or paint on them, and then little hot glue spots, which all fell off almost immediately.
Soda cans are mean like that.
And I want to say there was a middle pair. I don't remember though, but those, yeah, were the most successful ones that I ever made. And I always... Oh, did I interrupt? Did you say your critiques and the things that you liked about it?
Well, I liked the bracers. I liked the shirt. And then I was always incredibly impressed with the fact that you sewed your own gloves for this costume.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
Because you did sew your own gloves. They're, like, split down the middle, like, green and orange gloves. And I've never successfully sewn a pair of gloves in my life, and I've tried so many times. So that's always been really impressive to me. However, I also know the secret of this cosplay. That there's no secret. I just call it the secret, because I think it's funny.
What is it?
And then you drew shit on it with Sharpie. Because instead of, like, putting, like, the rivets or, like, the studs on it, you drew them on with Sharpie.
Yep.
And so every time I look at that, I'm like, haha, that's Sharpie.
I think also that neck brace originally was, it was just... It's a very specific material that works great, and I'd love to recommend it. And I have the name saved somewhere, so I might edit it in, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. It's a specific type of material that you find in packing sometimes.
It's the kind of styrofoam that they use specifically around electronics.
Exactly.
All that stuff, yeah.
And a friend of mine got, like, a PS, I don't know, and gave me the leftover stuff, and I carved it, and then I duct taped it together. So it was originally just that wrapped in duct tape, and so that the holes in that were also originally just drawn black circles.
That's amazing.
The only other thing that bothers me about this costume is the fact that the belt that goes around the waist isn't the same color as the belts on the legs.
Fair.
And that's also duct tape.
Is neon orange compared to the burnt orange.
My colors don't match.
My colors don't fully match, but that's alright.
So, like, honestly, that's the main critique that I have, is that your colors don't match.
Alright. So your main critique is the colors don't match, and your main critique is, have your neck guard fit a little better, and maybe have your shirt fit a little better?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Specifically that photo.
Oh, yeah. Well, to be fair, I'm beating the shit out of Deku, so, you know.
It's okay if parts of your costume are falling
Yeah.
off.
Alright, my turn. I'm gonna tear it to shreds. Let's go. So, I'll do it backwards. I'll do things that I don't like about it, and then I'll salvage my own opinion of myself. So, in these particular photos, one thing that I really don't like is the fact that I look like a dandelion. Wigs are probably the most important part of a cosplay to me.
I style all the wigs for our group.
They're the most important part of the cosplay to me. I can't style a wig for shit. That particular wig was styled by an old friend of ours, and they did an amazing job. They did a great job. I did not specify what I wanted clearly enough. And also, you know, the hair at the back of the neck is always slipping out, and so the shorter the wig, the harder it is to hide that fucking hair.
And we started shaving it all off.
Yeah, that's why we all have like a cosplay cut now. That gets this part right here, and then the parts that are most likely to slip out of a wig.
Just take it away.
Take it away! Which is hilarious, because now I can't wear Bakugou's wig unless I have that freshly shaven. But if it is freshly shaven, it looks great now, so we fixed that problem. I look less like a dandelion, I look more like an actual anime character. One problem that I had with it as it developed, is the silvers didn't match. Particularly in this photo, I bought the wrong spray paint for the neck bracer, so it is way shinier than everything else. Also, it's newer, and so the other ones have a much more noticeably faded silver. The knee bracers are a little awkwardly large. And they ended up getting replaced. I tried to replace both the knee bracers and the neck brace with a 3D printer, with a 3D printed model. But I don't think I ever actually even ended up wearing those because I couldn't get them to like stay properly on my body. Also, fun fact, the neck brace does actually have Velcro on it. And the summer version of Bakugou's outfit has the other matching Velcro, so it originally did stay in place really well, and I swore up and down I was going to add Velcro to the winter one, and I never did, because it just wasn't aggressively necessary, and it also looked nicer if I didn't have the Velcro and I wanted to take the thing off.
Yeah.
It's just a really awkward part of a costume.
It's a really awkward part of a costume. And also, as I started cosplaying more and getting more into the panels and the acting and caring less about what I actually looked like, you'll notice I start stripping in panels. The gloves come off, the bracers come off because they're sweaty, the neck thing comes off because I can't fully turn my head.
The grenades are rolling on the floor.
The grenades are on the floor! They're not even in this. Oh no, they're in that photo. Okay, cool.
A tip to keep that on instead of using Velcro, you could also have done magnets, because then it wouldn't show when you took it off.
That's true. We're also just so horny for magnets at this point.
I love magnets as a way to attach things. It's so good.
Unfortunately, because of the stuff that it is made out of, I don't know if I would have been able to securely attach a magnet.
That's true, yeah.
Maybe back when it was duct taped shut, but in this one it's not duct taped, and glue would have not held it. But I really was proud of the shirt. The shirt did come out amazing, because,
besides, the minor fit issues, the lines are super clean on it.
Yeah, I made it totally from scratch, no pattern, because fuck it, we ball, and it has, this is the real secret of this fucking outfit, the shirt is a bodysuit. So I want everybody watching this video right now to imagine Bakugou in the bathroom, really awkwardly going at his fucking crotch, trying to unpin hooks and eyes in a bodysuit, just to take a shit. Because I saw an artist on Twitter draw Bakugou in a bodysuit of his shirt, and they were like, it makes more sense, athletically, to keep it tucked in, to have it be a bodysuit. And I was like, I love that. Also very applicable for me specifically, because I hate it when shirts come untucked, so,
You never had a problem with it coming untucked?
I never had a problem with it coming untucked. I'm rambling a lot. I think the thing that I would want to do, the biggest thing that I would want to do differently, and the thing that I swore up and down that I was going to do differently and I never did, was, the bracers didn't fit quite right. They slid up and down a lot, and it made it very hard to do wrist movements because they were constantly here. And they didn't breathe at all. There's a part of Bakugou's bracers that are solid black right on the inside of the arm that aren't that checkered pattern, whatever the fuck it is. And I always wanted to make that out of elastic, and I never did. But that's the main thing that I would change.
I've also found that having like a felt backing inside of the bracers helps with the sweat issue a little bit too.
I don't know if that's abundantly applicable, just because my sleeves.
That's true. You are wearing a sleeve there too.
Yeah. But that would have allowed for slightly more airflow, and anything would have helped in that instance. And it also would have meant that it would slip around a lot less, which is just a personal fucking ick of mine. And then maybe making the actual squares out of less thick material, because they do look kind of awkwardly bulky a little bit.
Bakugou in general is just kind of awkwardly bulky though.
Yeah.
I myself am awkwardly bulky.
So like if you were gonna have the giant stupid like arm grenades.
Yeah, no, I decided very early on that I was never gonna make the arm grenades because I don't like walking like a fucking cowboy.
Macho man.
Alright, thank you for tuning in. If you want us to critique your cosplay with the same level of severity or less, you can ask to be critiqued more or less harshly.
You can be like, just give me compliments and we'll compliment you all day.
That's true.
You have other costumes of ours that you would like us to critique.
That's true.
Also let us know.
Or if you're like, I want to know more about that specific costume.
Yeah.
Yes, we can
Also,
tell stories.
As we mentioned before, Annie has entered cosplay contests. Hopefully, before the year ends, Radio will have also entered cosplay contests.
Nero.
So, if you want tips on how to make your cosplay contest ready, then that is something that we can also talk about. I hate cosplay contests and I don't want to do them, so I know nothing about that shit, and that's, I think, also why I'm like, is it contest ready? No, it's ready for me to stand in front of a group of 20 15-year-olds and scream.
Which, it doesn't have to be contest ready. That's just one aspect, right, of the cosplay community. And it is a very fun aspect, in my opinion, but for other people, that's not going to be their big draw. Sometimes you just want to show up and look nice.
I've cried over
That's
Nero.
totally fair.
Already.
Yeah.
Anyway.